All right. All right. I think we're ready to go. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As you can see, we have a screen in our sanctuary. For those of you who are new, this is going to be where we're looking for all of the prayers that we're going to be joining together in this evening. If you would prefer, we also have prayer books in the pews, either on the seats or in the seat backs in front of you, and I'll be reading out page numbers for those who want to follow along that way. I also want to say before we begin that I'm going to be inviting everyone to rise and be seated at various moments in the service, and I'm inviting you to rise either in body or in spirit as you are comfortable. So I hope that our service time together this evening is one that brings us a sense of Shabbat restfulness and peace. I have more to say about what that means for me right now later in my sermon, but for now I hope that we find a loving sense of community, of being together, of reading together and singing together as we begin our service. On page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to help work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We'll continue singing together Hine Matov on page 128. Of Psalms on page 130 with singing Lechu Neranana, giving thanks to God for the beauty of all of creation. Lechu Neranana, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Yadonai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Naria, Yai Lai Lai We'll continue on page 138 as we join together in singing these medieval poetic words of Lecha Dodi. We'll join together on verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, which are the 4 verses that you see on the screen. And as we reach the final verse, we'll rise to face the entryway to welcome Shabbat like a bride or a queen. Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, shamor v'zachor, v'dibor echad, ish b'yanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, v'shemo tiferet v'litila. Ya Elai, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mikol haberacha, merosh miketem nesutcha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tefila. Ya Elai, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri, itoreri, ki ba'orech u'mi'orim, urim urim, shir daverim, kevod Adonai, alayich nikla. Ya Elai, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. Please rise, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'tola, tov emunei, am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Ya Elai, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 142 as we continue our theme of welcoming the ministering angels, the angels of peace, as we sing together Shalom Alechem. Page 142. Shalom Alechem, Shalom HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll continue with the kindling of the Shabbat candles on page 120, and I'd like to invite Linda Krause to join me on the bima, please.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Thank you. We'll continue on page 144. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, Beimeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam Ulam Me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Ve'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemei de Kedusha, Brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Tamiran be'alma, ve'imeru, Amen. We'll rise for our call to prayer on page 146. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyom balayla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyom balayla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. We'll continue on the bottom of page 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We'll continue on page 152 as we rise for Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Ba'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Ba'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hodseti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Lihiot Lachem Le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We'll continue on page 159. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. We'll continue with Micha Mocha, our song for freedom and redemption, on page 158. Continue on page 160 as we join together singing Hashkivenu, asking for God's sheltering presence to be on us this evening and every evening. Apore Sukat Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Be'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. And I continue on page 163 as we rise together for Tefillah. Thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai. Thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Adonai, Svatai, Svatai Titach, Ufi Yagitehi Latecha. Adonai, Svatai, Svatai Titach, Ufi Yagitehi Latecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim ve'rofech cholim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevuron, umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatmiach Yeshua. B'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Continue on page 171. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadosh. Please be seated. No, it's supposed to be what you read. I need to fix that. I said it last week, but this week has been even crazier. We're going to continue on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. And on page 176, we acknowledge with thanks that you, Adonai, are God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We'll continue with our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav on page 178. Excuse me. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Chasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Chasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Chasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Chasim Leolam. Chasim Leolam. Chasim Leolam. We'll take a moment for our own quiet thoughts and prayers. Yehiyu leratzon imrei fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri begoali Iyu leratzon imrei fi behegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri begoali We take a few moments in our service now to hold in our hearts our loved ones and our congregational family members and friends who are in need of a prayer of healing. If you are thinking of someone at this time and you're on Zoom and you'd like to write their name in the chat, I'll read their names aloud in a moment. And as I look your way in the sanctuary, if there are people who you're thinking of who are in need of a prayer of healing, please feel free to share their names as well. Melody Griffin. Jim Coley and Gary Enterline. That's not helpful. Sandy Gordon. I don't know if those will be helpful either. My allergies have made all of everything a mess. For all of our loved ones who are in need of a prayer of healing, we say, Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. Blessed is God who brings healing to those who are in need of healing. As we turn to page 371 and join together in singing Mishaberach. Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. The the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
This week, the Torah portion is one of the more intense Torah portions that we have, so much so that the rabbis in tradition call it a Torah portion of tochecha, which means a Torah portion of rebuke. It's actually the second reading like this. The first one is in the book of Leviticus. Both of these readings begin, both this week and the Torah portion similar in the book of Leviticus begins with a short series, I should say, of a list of blessings, and it's followed by a much more intense and also lengthier list of curses. And one of the traditional elements of these Torah portions, but specifically this one, is that there is a custom that because the words of these curses are so terrible that you're not actually supposed to read them loud enough for anyone else to hear them. And so, if you're a bar bat mitzvah student studying for your bar bat mitzvah, you may or may not want this one because you don't have to read it loud enough for anyone to hear you. But anyway, if you do actually read this inaudibly, or if you don't read it at all, you miss what I think is a really interesting point that if you don't get directly from the Torah, that at least one rabbi in our tradition makes a point that goes beyond just looking at these curses and blessings, for that matter, as being something that will literally happen if you. This follows the kind of classic pattern. If you do what you're supposed to do, then blessing will come. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, then curses will come. But this particular verse kind of interrupts that idea. And it changes the way that we're supposed to think about the curses and blessings that are listed in this Torah portion, but also kind of in general how we're supposed to look at our lives. And it's a short phrase where the Hebrew says, Tachat asher lo avadata et Adonai Elohecha basimcha, which means, or which I should say is normally translated as, on the count of the fact that you did not serve Adonai your God in happiness. So it's a pretty simple thing, this pretty simple idea that and you also have to ask, is it really true, if you're just looking on the surface of things, are all of these curses, and I promise you, I'm not going to tell you what they are, but they're terrible, that these curses are really bad, and are these really going to come about because we're not serving God or worshiping God in happiness? And there's a couple of words in here that are worth kind of like diving deeper into, and also the beauty of one of the things that I think is beautiful about Hebrew is that it's so flexible that the way this is written allows for a couple of different interpretations that would still be considered surface readings. So there is a Hasidic rabbi, Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Kotsk, who's referred to as the Kotzker Rebbe, explains the ambiguity in this way. He says, the sentence gives us a little bit of a gift. He says we shouldn't read the phrase, Lo avadata basimcha, as because you didn't serve God in happiness by expressing gratitude or through joyful worship. Rather, the Kotzker Rebbe says that you should translate Lo avadata basimcha as you didn't serve God, and therefore your lack of service somehow contributed to your happiness, which, if you put a different way, is you were perfectly happy to do nothing. And because you did nothing in the service of God, all of this negativity came into your lives. Which is so I think that's a really interesting way of framing things. It gives you the opportunity to see that sometimes when you're looking at the world, we have the opportunity to look at things as if we are encountering something really negative. I said I would mention my day has been one of these days. It started out with my oldest child being homesick from school, and I thought I was going to be really productive because it was Andrea's turn, my wife's turn, to take care of her because I took care of her yesterday when she was sick from school. And then I went to a place where I was being very productive, and I had a very specific time I needed to leave to go and get ready for services and several other things that I was going to do before religious school on Sunday. And when I went to get my car, I tried to turn my car on, and it did not start. And so I ended up waiting for over 2 hours for a tow truck to tow my car, and I got here to services just a little less than a half an hour before services started. While I was waiting for the tow truck, being very angry and trying to be more productive while I'm waiting in my car, though, a person came up to me and asked me for food. Not for money, for food, which I thought was the first time that request has come to me downtown. And thankfully I was in a place where we could walk over to a restaurant that we were nearby, and I bought him a hamburger. And in that moment, in rabbinical school, they literally tell you not to use yourself as examples of holding yourself up to something, and that's not the point. The point is not that I did this thing for this guy. The point is that as I was thinking about all of the crazy stuff that I have been going through today and really this week, and how the high holidays are less than a week away, that I can still find the blessing and serve God in happiness despite all of the craziness that's going on around me. So I hope that as the high holidays are continuously approaching, they are 1 week and 2 days away. If we don't say it out loud, though, they won't come. That as we are approaching these holy days, that we are able to have this kind of self-reflection, this introspection that allows us to find a place in our lives where we feel fulfilled with happiness, perhaps despite the circumstances we find ourselves in, and maybe hopefully also because of the circumstances we are in, we will learn to find joy and serve God with happiness. So I will leave you all with that and say Shabbat Shalom. We are going to continue on page 586 as we rise together for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shameach l'adon hakol, l'tein gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyeh haratzon, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo samu chelpinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu Please be seated. And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power, and then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind, and then both men and women will be gentle, and then both women and men will be strong, and then no person will be subject to another's will, and then all will be rich and free and varied, and then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many, and then all will share equally in the earth's abundance, and then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old, and then all will nourish the young, and then all will cherish life's creatures, and then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth, and then everywhere will be called Eden once again. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad. We take a moment in our service devoted to the memory of our loved ones who we have lost, honoring those for whom this week and the Shabbat are a yard site or an anniversary of their passing. Michael Abrams, Rona Bernstein, Bacharach Druck, Theodore Klein, Jacqueline Lowenthal, Patricia Allen Rovner, Molly K. Dreskin, Eva Van Dyke, Jack Markowitz, Ida Abrams Miller, Hinda B. Shapiro, Rose Broder, John Ben Diamondstein, Florence Eisenberg, Esther Hoffman, Julius Cohen, William Rosenfeld, and Evelyn Woolman. If there are loved ones you're holding in your hearts at this time in loving memory and would like to share their names on Zoom, I'll read them aloud if you put them in the chat. And as I look your way in the sanctuary again, if you have a loved one you'd like to share their name for Mourners Cottage, please do. Gail Rose Carmack. For our loved ones who came before us, we say, Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be a blessing. We'll turn to page 598 as we rise together for Kaddish Yatom, Mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'almad divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'bizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit daleh, v'yit halal, shmei de kedusha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran me'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace in the heavens on high bring peace to us here on earth, to all the people of Israel and all people of the world, and may God send comfort to all those who are mourning. Together we say, Amen. Please be seated. We have a few announcements of things that are going on. The first is our Habitat for Humanity Abraham build is still going on, and there are still places to sign up. For those of you who have not heard, the days that we are working on the build, the build is taking place in Nicholtown, are on Thursdays and Saturdays. I believe some days say that they are filled up, but when I talked to the Habitat people, they said that if people from the temple want to come work and they couldn't plan ahead, that they are likely to be able to find work for you, so you can show up anyway. They can use the help. But it is a really cool opportunity. We are doing this project as part of what the Bridge Builder series of Habitat for Humanity. We're working with 4 Christian congregations, the Greenville Muslim community, and also Congregation Beth Israel is is there as well. So this is a community build in addition to building a home for a family in Greenville. So it's a great thing for our congregation to be doing. Starting next Wednesday, which is kind of also crazy to say, next Wednesday we begin our first session of Foundations for a Thoughtful Jewish Life, which is going to be a 2-year curriculum, 2-year class. All of the classes will take place on Wednesday evenings from 7:15 to 8:30. And the specific dates are on our temple calendar and on the website. You don't have to register for the course, but I'm trying to keep track of people, and that way I can, if something happens on a particular Wednesday and I can't, for whatever reason, be there, I can let you know. I can also send out different resources to the group if you register. I'll put your emails all on one list. As of right now, this before services, I think we have 24 people registered for the class, which is great. So it's going to mostly be in person, but I've had enough requests for either recording it or having a Zoom link sent out that will be available also. We're going to be meeting in the social hall on Wednesday evening. So if you are interested, it is a text-based study curriculum. So the texts have a really broad range, and so it'll actually be a pretty good survey of like Jewish traditional texts, in addition to be looking at ideas that from a variety of perspectives that we haven't looked at before. The general themes for this year that we'll be looking at our faith and ethics. And then next year we'll do a section on Jewish practice and on concepts of peoplehood. So there's no charge for the course, but if you decide that you'd like to register and participate and you wanted to help offset printing costs by making a donation, that would be welcome. Couple of high holiday things. High holiday babysitting, we are still taking reservations, but we need to know if you have kids and you'd like for them to be here with the babysitter for Rosh Hashanah, we need to know as soon as possible, and the deadline for Yom Kippur is September 27th. I think right now my kids are the only kids who are in there, but they're cool kids, and if you would like your kids to hang out with my kids, you should sign them up for babysitting. And Sisterhood has a request for hosting the Rosh Hashanah Oneg. You should have seen in your e-news that there were a list of needed items, including dessert platters and fruit platters and cheese and cracker platters and apples and honey platters, and maybe even most importantly, people to help set up. Yeah, setting up and cleaning up afterwards. So if you're able to either provide one of those things or be here in person for setting up and cleaning up afterwards on Erev Rosh Hashanah, which is September 20th, it's the Sunday, September 25th, that would be very, very helpful. 2 more Rosh Hashanah announcements. Earlier in the day on September 25th from 10 o'clock to noon, sponsored by the PJ Library and Greenville Jewish Federation, we are going apple picking at Skytop Orchard. There are all sorts of fun activities and things to do for the families, and if you would like to go, there is a registration link. It's a sponsored event, so I don't believe that there's a cost, but they want to know that you're coming. And last but not least, PJ Library and Greenville Jewish Federation are also sponsoring a Creekside Family Tashlich and Shofar service that I am leading. That's on September 26th from 4 to 5:30. There is a registration link for this as well, and I keep forgetting to write down which park that's happening at to tell you, but it is, once you click the registration link, you'll find that information out. We are still doing our own temple tashlich service right after our morning service on September 26th. It should be right around noon before we go to lunch. So if you wanted to attend this, you should fill out the registration link because last year they had goodie bags, and we want to make sure that we have enough for people who are coming. I think that's all I have. Roger?
Please bring donations to the food drive.
Yes. For the last few years, for Yom Kippur, we have had a food drive. Being that we are fasting, I think the idea is that the food that we would have eaten for the day, we can give to those who are in need. So if you are able to bring non-perishable food items for United Ministries for our food drive on Yom Kippur, that would also be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Roger. Any other announcements that I missed? Okay, we're going to say Kiddush and bless our kiddos and Motzi. I don't know if Kyle and Malia want to come join me on the bima. Do you want to come join? You don't have to. I didn't put you on the spot. How about this? If you are young or young at heart and you would like to come up here and have Kiddush and Motzi with me on the bima, you should do that. Are y'all gonna let Kyle be up here by himself? Come on. You. Yes. All right. All right. There's no, we're not pressuring. But we get juice first, is all I'm saying. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. And for our children who are up here, and also for all of the kids in our congregation, who we are holding in our hearts at this moment, we say these words of blessing. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May you be blessed like the sons of Joseph, like Ephraim and Menashe. Yisimech Elohim ke'Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. May you be blessed like the mothers of our people, like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. We wish for all of our children to find the blessings of being proud of who they are and of always striving to be the best version of themselves, as we say these words of blessing from the Torah for you. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine on you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always feel close to you, and may you always be blessed with the most important gifts of wholeness and peace. We say it together, Amen. Amotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for it. Our voices rise in song together, as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay. Awesome. There we go. Sit back down. We are going to continue, or conclude our service, I should say, singing Osei Shalom on page 598. And after we finish singing, we'll join together next door for our oneg, and thank you to the Krauses for providing our oneg for us. So we'll join together Osei Shalom. Osei Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru Shabbat Shalom. It's so good to see you all here, and I look forward to saying hi to you closer next door. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to everyone on Zoom. I'm going to stop share.